Okay, I don't know what happened in my last video, but it just kind of cut off on me. The GoPro 5 is pretty good. That's what I'm using right now. I just got it on 1080p. My computer can't handle the 4K. I can't even watch stuff in 4K. But I'm gonna just push on. I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna push on a little bit further, then I'm gonna head home. I'd like to take that old trail that comes in behind the gun range and all that, but I think it's all blocked off and grown up now. But I used to be able to get through there, and that was pretty fascinating. I might try it on another day, but not a day where I'm going to possibly get stuck in the rain. So, but the GoPro 5, I like it. I probably bought it when it was a little bit too new. Usually when they, you know, you think, okay, well, yeah, they're just updating the technology from the GoPro 4. But like everything, there's always bugs and stuff like that in new equipment. So it gets it better in almost every way, and then it kind of has like little glitches for the first model of it that, you know, unforeseen stuff. So sometimes this camera will just decide, like, it only does about 10-minute blocks or 11-minute blocks or whatever a video at a time, and then it'll splice and then you have to edit. But depending on how big of a video you're doing, the bigger the video, the shorter the segments, right? And then it has to store it to memory. This white picket fence we're coming up here, it used to be the writer for The Young and Restless that used to live here. I don't know who lives here now, I can't remember. It's changed hands a few times, but it's a bit of a mansion, kind of cool. Mansion cottage type of thing. Somebody's home now. There used to be planes out here and everything. It was really cool. But anyway, like I was saying, the only glitches I found in the GoPro 5 so far is sometimes it gets really, really hot. This is the road I was telling you about. I'd like to go down there. Not going to do it today though. I'm just going to turn around here. And the other thing that it does is sometimes it'll just shut off while I'm halfway through a video, and it just shuts off for no reason. Now maybe that could be a user error of me not pressing the button right, and I think it's shutting off. Meanwhile, I never started the video in the first place. I'll know when I get home who is at fault, right? There you go. Oh, nice and cool. But anyway, yeah, get yourself back into cycling. Get yourself back into shape. Oop. Yeah, whoop, wrong gear. There we go. Now I'm in top gear. But I do got to get myself a road bike. Now, do I get a road bike? I've got a couple of, doing some research, because I kind of forget all the technology and different types. Okay, you got your tour bikes, you got your race bikes, you got your super bike, pedal, you know, like race bikes, road bikes. Then you've got what they call cross cycle, and the other one's basically, you know, like road bikes with dirt tires on them. Not quite like a mountain bike, but yeah, good shift right there. And you got a car coming along. Don't run me over, please. And anyway, so cross cycle, gravel bikes. I think there's a little bit of a difference between a cross cycle and a gravel bike, but I think you're like splitting hairs there. I think they kind of do the same thing. Then you've got ultralights, which really do interest me. And then you got endurance bikes. You've got tour bikes. A tour bike would be cool, but I'll be honest with you. If I was doing 100K in a day, okay, I'll bring a backpack with me, maybe a few things. You don't really have to, unless you're going to be crashing somewhere for the night, you don't really need a lot of gear with you. Some of these tour bikes, I mean, sure, great. You got 4 saddlebags on it, a front rack and a back rack, and you can bring everything minus the kitchen sink with you. But now you got a bike that's weighing over 100 pounds that you got to pedal. You know what I mean? 80 to 100 pounds of stuff. And for as often as people do that, the bike itself might be 30 pounds. So reliable, durable, sure. Fast, no. Making your your trip longer, which then might make you a little bit, you know, you're going to be taking longer to get from point A to point B. So for me, I'm a bit more of a minimalist. So an actual tour bike, it'd be nice to have one if you're going like for a week-long excursion. Then it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to do, say, 40K a day or 50K a day rather than 100K a day. Unless you're in real good shape, you know, you could work your way up to that. But, you know, if you're just doing it for the tour, then you don't really need to bring much with you anyway, because you don't care if you're all sweaty and stinking anyway. You know, you can live in the same clothes for a week, maybe bring a rain gear with you or whatever, and travel as lightly as possible, just to shorten down or increase the distance, you know, shorten the riding time or increase the distance. But let's say you go on a week-long tour and you're only doing like 10K a day, like 100K for the week. That's a great thing. Okay, I'm going to go here, it's 10 kilometers to the next town or whatever. Here's another 10 kilometers to the next town, and in that time I'm going to you know, maybe do 20K a day, take it easy on that, and then just, you know, see the place you're going. You know, that's the other thing. But the other thing is, okay, no, I want to see if I can do 500K in a week or 700K a week, 100K a day. That total different type of riding, right? So these are the things I got to ponder. But the bikes that interest me the most are the extremely lightweight bikes for hill climbing, because if I go on a tour around here, there's a lot of hills. There's a lot of level ground too, but there's a lot of hills. I also kind of going maybe a bit more purist in my mentality of aero bike or ultralight road bike, you know, thin tires, you know, try not to die on the corners kind of bike, but get the speed, do 100K in like 4 hours type of thing, versus tried and true, steel is real. Hope you guys can hear me over the wind. Oh no. This thing just lost like 3 kilometers just with that little breeze. I think it's gonna be slow going back, but it's a nice run. Probably about 8-10K round trip that I'm doing here, just to, you know, kind of keep it real, right? Got a bit of a shoulder here. That's the other thing too, is I have to take in consideration not where I'd like to ride, but where I have to ride. This is a good representation of the roads I'll be riding on, because this is a Highway 301 and most of it doesn't have shoulders. So that means a gravel bike might be a better option for me with thinner tires. It'll be a little faster than a hybrid and durable enough so that I can ride the shoulder, because you might spend 80% of the ride on the shoulder. And that sucks. Don't get me wrong, that sucks. Especially when you're geared down that much. Gotta gear up. Why? Because I'm a man. But you get the idea. If I have to quickly take the ditch or take the shoulder, I need tires that can do that. This is where an aero bike or a bike with like the really, you know, like the 1/4 inch tire rims, they won't hold up on this stuff. You know, it's too rough. But you get there fast. So do you buy 4 tire tubes, carry them with you, get there in 4 hours, or do you go with a heavier wheel, carry 2 spare tire tubes, and get there in 6 hours or 8 hours? You know what I mean? Even on a bike like this, I can do 100K in about 6.5 hours. Mind you, that's taking probably 15-minute breaks every hour, bringing 2 2-liter bottles of water with me. Why this bike just isn't meant for that kind of touring. It can do it. It's the bike has no problem. Like this bike, reliability is no problem on this bike, because it's all steel. Except for the front rim, everything else on this bike is steel. At best plastic. There's about 4 pieces of plastic on this bike. Everything else is steel. But either way, I don't know what I'll get, but I know, like for example, this is my 4th kind of run, and I know on the next one, the big thing with this is the headwinds, and that's what's killing me right now. It's like this slows me down to like 7 kilometers, 5 kilometers an hour. I swear to God, I don't know how fast I'm going or not going, but it slows you down. That's the thing about these big bikes, is the drag. But that said, getting back to what I was saying, is I could end up with a bike, low drag, very fast, but you can't really carry much. But it doesn't matter because you're going to get there, you know, in a wickedly short amount of time. If you really push it, you could probably do the 100K in just a little over 3 hours if you're in shape. You know, that would be very cool. And then, I mean, that'd be very, very, very cool. But I think I like to pace myself because I'm not competing or anything like that. I'm just having fun with it. But I'd also like to see a bike that if I head to the next town, for example, there's so much hill climbing to do. It's 28 kilometers. It's about 3 times the distance going back the other way. There's 11 kilometers between town to town. It's almost all flat like this with a few hills. But going the other way, it's almost hills all the way, which means you're going to come down the hills like a rocket, but some of the hills are like 2 kilometers long or 1.5 miles. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So 1.6 kilometers is a mile. If you're going uphill for 1.6 kilometers, probably 50 times in 28 kilometers, that's going to slow you down. That might take you all day. Where going to the city, 100 kilometers is almost all level ground, so you can do it in 5-6 hours on even a crappy bike like this. Crappy, yes. Reliable, yes. You know, but also too, you get a bike that you know, is lighter, built like a tank like this, but lighter. You know, it's that weight, but 85% of your cycling energy goes to overcoming resistance. So how you're sitting on your bike too makes a big difference.